All right. Well, in this week, we're finishing up the repulse monkey posture and getting into diagonal flying. So just to review the repulse monkey, let me know if we spent enough time on it for you. There's still some things that we can talk about, but like I said, we're going to circle back around to it. Here's a review of the drills. We did the lower body pivoting. We did the 180 turn. This is the knee rising. One thing to note on the knee rising is the closing of the spine. Check out the tilting of the tailbone as I close the spine. Difficult to do on a gravel surface, grass, you're even on a mat if you're barefoot. Someone recently enlightened me to this. So yeah, those are challenging moments, definitely. Getting into diagonal flying here, one of my favorites. I like this drill going to 4 different directions here. Just repping it out. One thing to note here is me steering the turn with the knee. We'll look at that again in a second. Another thing that I talk about this week is the use of the feet. So right here, see how I turn the toes in and I pull the foot in? You'll see again here. I go in Ding Sambu, turn the toe in, as opposed to pushing off the front foot. So what I talk about in the description is on a slippery surface, you're gonna push off that and slip. Here we're looking at the opening of the quad, using the knee to steer the turn. How do you guys feel about that? Does anybody else use that? Let me know. Okay, now we're just looking at the upper body for diagonal flying. And in the description, I talk about the transition between repulse monkey and diagonal flying, how juicy that is and how much I enjoy it. So for me, it's all in the chest. You can see here on the right shoulder, watch how I really accentuate the right shoulder. And what I'm doing is like charging for that opening. When I come into the center, I charge that right shoulder so that I can open it up, and that's what gives me structure and strength in the diagonal flying movement. A little odd to be doing this without the leg work, because one thing I also mentioned is the use of bump. When I step down and step into this, I'm bumping, and then the hand is finishing the takedown. So a little strange for me to do that upper body drill without the lower body, but nevertheless still beneficial. So we're revisiting lift hands up. And again, if you take a look at the footwork, I'm returning. Take a look at that front foot. I turn the toe in, and I kind of go into tame the tiger stance. So it's kind of interesting. Tell me what you feel about that. I go into tame the tiger stance, and it's different from the first part. We're going to look at the lift hands up from the first part. I go into somewhat of a tame the tiger stance as I lock. And then if you notice there, when I lock, I turn to the right, and that almost right here, I kind of turn to the right. No, I'm sorry, the left. Turn to the left. And if you've ever tried the application, you have the elbow locked. If you just jerk the hip to the left, that's how you could break the elbow. So if you can imagine that, and then utilize that in the form, it gives a little bit of sense of opponent. We're looking at the root exercise here, the double yang coil, in which the spine wave, spine bow is utilized. Now we're going back to basic Taiji walking, Taiji kicking, and then looking at some freeze points. So if you feel comfortable with this, I recommend you doing it with your eyes closed. If you have, let me know how you experience that and how you like to do Taiji walking or Taiji balancing or Taiji kicking with the eyes closed. One thing that I would recommend is getting on a hill, getting on a different surface, getting in some grass, and just putting your feet on some different grounds, different floors, different dirts and gravels, and feeling that process. So here I'm at an incline. I was kind of hoping that I could just do this as if it was a level ground, but you can see how I have to put my weight forward. I have to kind of lean forward into that foot. So I just got back from Israel, and one thing that I was talking to people about is this heel toe. I call the heel toe transition. We're coming up on a freeze here. In the heel toe transition, you switch sides. And what I was asking people to experience and to observe was the weight transition. Freeze point there. From that front foot, oh, I'm turning around here. So you set the foot down and you turn and you feel the weight transition all the way from when the toe lifts up off the ground there. So I was asking people to really put their mind there when the toe lifts up off the ground right here. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. This is the Taijiquan Calendar Series 2019. And here's your preview for the second week of March. We're looking at white crane spreads wings. All the juicy details between spread wings and brush knee. Finishing off with settling of the wrist for the Taijiquan Calendar Series 2019.